Looks like it is. Lovely. Brilliant. Custom story. Yeah, that was one of the things that made gave this game a lot of longevity. As you could, a lot of people made like custom campaigns almost to play through with this. Which is where a lot of the meat and potatoes of a lot of YouTubers' videos came from, actually, from what I can remember back in the day. But anyway, Amnesia, The Dark Descent, everybody. It's a horror game. It's one of the best horror games ever, honestly, because it's got a great story and it's very atmospheric and generally awesome, and I've never completed it because I was always too much of a scaredy cat or I got stuck on the puzzles. But nevertheless, I think it's an awesome game. And Mad, thanks very much for the 6 months. Believe it or not, I am the only person that you're subbed to. I don't even know Netflix, Amazon sub. I really appreciate that, dude. Thank you very much. I'm glad to hear I am apparently like I'm apparently strong competition with Netflix.
We're watching you, scum.
And Dark Mage as well, thanks for the 3 months. So anyway, we're gonna get started with this. Don't know how much of it we'll play tonight. Let's see how we go. New game. Oh, how is the audio as well, by the way? Like, we don't want it to be too quiet. It is a horror game, and a lot of the atmosphere comes from the sounds, but...
We're watching you, scum.
I think that's probably more the sweet spot. Electraumatized, thank you for 19 months. Thank you very much indeed. That's not an insignificant amount of time at all. Right. New game. Normal, the way the game was designed to be played. Yep, that works for me.
Don't forget, some things mustn't be forgotten. The shadow hunting me. I must hurry. My name is Daniel. I live in London at Mayfair. What have I done? This is crazy. Don't forget. Don't forget. I must stop him. Focus. My name is... I am Daniel.
Alright. A memento has been added to the journal. Follow the liquid trail and find its source. Very good. Hi, Django. Yep. I already kind of know what happens because I've played the game before and I've also watched other people play it. But obviously, no spoilers for the benefit of people who don't know the story of this game. Because it's a pretty good story. I'm wondering about my frame rate right now. And I'm hoping it's literally just the weird blurry effect that's making it seem a bit odd at the moment. I could do without technical issues, I really could. It is giving me controller prompts. I wonder if... Oh! I could play this with a controller if I wanted to. You know what? No, I don't think I will. This isn't a game that would really benefit from a controller. Will benefit from slightly higher mouse sensitivity, though. Also, my mouse cable itself is actually caught on something. That's not going to help. Alright. Oh dear. I think Daniel might have a bit of a headache. Also, the field of view right now is crazy. Amnesia, the game that made PewDiePie famous, or was it the other way around? Good question, actually. It's like chicken and the egg, that one, isn't it, really? Is there actually, like, a field of view slider here? I don't think there is, you know. And yeah, spooky door opened all by itself. Yes, this is how you interact with doors. You don't just click on them, you have to click and drag them open and shut. Like that. Man, these hint prompts right there where they give me the mouse controls and the controller controls all in one go is downright confusing. Some custom stories in the future. I doubt it, really. It's just kind of a this is kind of a bit of a one-off special, mate, to be honest, because it's October. Tinderboxes, you use them to light things up. Yes, like candles and things. Things of that nature. Tinderboxes are incredibly useful. We do not want to waste them. That is just a bottle. Hello, fire. Does Daniel have a bit of a limp right now? We seem to be listing slightly to the side constantly. Right mouse to throw objects. Hold down R and move the mouse to rotate it. Like so. Smash! Is this useful? No. I already checked this, didn't I? Footsteps. Oh dear. Not feeling so good, apparently. Just your average panic attack. If this is wine, I don't understand how he could possibly be hungover, because it looks like he spilt most of it rather than drinking it. Those suit of armor. Protect me! Do you know, in all the years I've played this game, on and off, I never did figure out that you could take the helmets off them. The more you know. Also, the vision's going all weird right now because Daniel doesn't like being in the dark, but unfortunately you kind of have to be in the dark sometimes in order to hide from things. Ooh. Could we, no, unfortunately we can't crouch quite low enough to hide in there. Big Creeper, your first warning and only warning, no spoilers, dude. Don't say sorry for spoiler and then spoil. Don't do that, man. That's not cool. We literally said, like, 2-3 minutes ago, no spoilers. Spooky! Ugh. We could light that with a tinderbox, or we could just go back outside. I think let's just go back outside. When standing in darkness, your sanity will slowly drain. Yes, as I explained. Yeah, no spoilers at all, man. Like, yeah, thanks, Angus. You will get timed out if you do that. Like, Jesus Christ. I shouldn't have to say this, but when we say no spoilers, that means no spoilers. It's not hard to figure out. Like, come on. Coming home drunk at 2 AM simulator. Do you know what? It does feel a bit like that sometimes, doesn't it? Pflanzenreich. Don't know what that means. What's this one? I was trying to read, for heaven's sake. Witnessing unsettling events will reduce your sanity. It can be increased by completing puzzles and making progress. Good. I'll have those. Oh, there's cockroaches everywhere. Good. Good. Here's our inventory / health / sanity screen, by the way. Head is pounding and hands are shaking. Yeah, that's probably not good. Also our journals here as well. Do we have any other notes and things in here right now? No notes available. No diaries available. Kingdom of Plants. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay. This is clearly not good. Somewhat poor state of affairs. There are lots of copies of this Kingdom of the Plants book around, aren't there? And the lantern. We've picked up the lantern. When filled with oil, it can be turned on by pressing F or selecting it in the inventory tab. It currently does have some oil in it. The lantern is very important. But again, the oil is limited, so we don't want to waste it. Earthquakes and stuff, very good. This is a chest we cannot open. Dave, you missed a tinderbox, Dave. Oh, yes. You want to live in a castle like this? Whereas, like, you probably wouldn't be able to afford living in a castle like this. Like, most, aristocratic families these days, they have to basically open their homes to tourists in order to actually afford them. Hello, stove. Hello, fire. Perhaps if I sit next to you for long enough, I'll become sane again. Aha! Oh, no, that's not it. Right mouse, that's how you throw things. A lever! We'll pull that in a minute. Also, potion bottles. Very, very well-made potion bottles. They are not breaking anytime soon. Lantern oil, hurrah. So. The heating bill, oh gosh, yeah. I live in an old Edwardian house, and this place is bad enough, frankly, with the heating and the lack of proper insulation and everything. Good grief, can't imagine what being in an old medieval castle would be like. Fucking hell.
19th of August, 1839. I wish I could ask how much you remember. I don't know if there'll be anything left after I consume this drink. Don't be afraid, Daniel. I can't tell you why, but know this. I choose to forget. Try to find comfort and strength in that fact. There is a purpose. You are my final effort to put things right. God willing, the name Alexander of Brandenburg still invokes bitter anger in you. If not, this will sound horrible. Go to the inner sanctum, find Alexander, and kill him. His body is old and weak, and yours, young and strong. He will be no match for you. One last thing. A shadow is following you. It's a living nightmare, breaking down reality. I have tried everything, and there is no way to fight back. You need to escape it as long as you can. Redeem us both, Daniel. Descend into the darkness where Alexander waits and murder him. Your former self, Daniel.
I'm going to quickly check the most recently read text by pressing N by accessing the journal. Very good. Where is that lever at? There it is. There we go. Took a bit of extra pulling, that did. It has opened a bookcase secret door. But of course. To run, hold down left shift while moving.
Alexander, is it inside the castle?
In a manner of speaking. Come, bring the lamp. You've been to the refinery, have you not?
I don't believe I have. Is it connected to the... what did you call it?
The inner sanctum. My most precious chamber, Daniel. And it lies well beyond the refinery. In fact, it lies beneath the very stone of Brandenburg.
Ew. It's tough and pliant. It can't be torn by hand or tools. We got a journal note thing there, didn't we? Some sort of organic tissue blocks the path to the refinery. Can it be dissolved? With science! Inner sanctum. Never a good pair of words, really. Yeah, I suppose. Certainly not when uttered within a spooky castle, that's for sure. And in that tone of voice. The inner sanctum. I mean, I don't suppose we could just leave, can we? Just say, fuck this spooky castle, I'm going home. Bye. Or not. Bugs. Cella Binaria Laboratorium. Wine cellar laboratory. It won't budge. Don't worry, madam, I shall save you. You're clearly not a trick.
You, scum.
Spoopy. Yes, indeed. Thanks for 32 months, Sarah. Yikes. I can't get through one stream without somebody bringing up the topic of Skyrim, can I? It is my curse. I have 9 tinder boxes. I do not wish to use them unless it's necessary. I'm just going to stand here next to this light here. That's good. We're fine. It's fine. It's fine. Slight headache. Yeah, it's... Okay.
There should be more coop racks. Let me see. And one part aqua fortis.
Where's that? One day I will return. If it wasn't for the thought of you, my love, I wouldn't be able to go on. When I find myself doing terrible things, I take comfort in you. As long as I'm able to think of you and long for a life together, I know I'm better than the others. I weep for them. They lust for power without restraint, where I only crave fair judgment and a safe return. Picked up a chemistry pot. This is my third attempt to produce artificial vitae. The former compounds lack the potency I need, but I sense I am close. Calamine and orpiment are a given, and the cuprite binds them well. This time I will attempt aqua regia instead of aqua fortis, in hope it will produce a more even solution. The experiment was unsuccessful. The solution is highly acid, acidic, and proves impractical to put to any use except as a detergent. Organic tissue reacts especially violently to the solution and should be handled with the greatest care. I might be able to use the recipe, but I'm losing hope that I will find an alchemic solution to my predicament. That's very useful information, because we would rather like a highly acidic solution. Some oil, very good. Chemical relocation. The lack of a chimney to properly vent the fumes from my most recent experiments has taken its toll on many of my less stable ingredients in storage. Some seem unaffected, but many are stained by the fumes and will be difficult to salvage. I shall do what I can and move them to the wine cellar. True story, folks. When you're working with solvents, have adequate ventilation. Even spooky, scary dudes in spooky, scary castles know this to be true. So... anything we need here? No, it seems like I think the ingredients that we need have been moved to the wine cellar. By the looks of things. Combining 4 chemicals can create a powerful acid. Let's just skedaddle. Oh boy. That's not good. Yeah, the audio. Having you know, finally adjusted, competently made audio is I think definitely key to making a good horror game.
You, scum.
And Spaghetti, thank you very much for the 10 months of subscription. Right, the wine cellar's actually back this way, isn't it? We were talking about Penumbra earlier, actually. I do have it installed right now. If we, I don't know, like, if we manage to get through this game before October's done, I might have a crack at Penumbra. We need a key. I've never got very far with Penumbra, mostly because its puzzles are quite difficult. But it is it's made by Frictional Games, same as this. It was the game they made before this. And it's also very, very good, very spooky. Go through this game before October's done. I mean, I don't know, if we stream it like once a week, or like 4 or 5 hours, maybe, yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't really know. I can't remember how long this game is, so we'll see. Archives. That didn't sound good. Catalogs. Anything in there? No. Ha. Nothing in there.
16th of May, 1839. The unflinching African sun has continued to plague our expedition, making it impossible to dig until dusk. How Professor Herbert managed to find the location in these vast plains of nothingness remains a mystery to me. When I asked him about the tomb again, he told me about the legend of Tin Hanan, the mother of us all. An interesting story in its own right, but I can't help feeling there's more. Later that evening, we uncovered a passage beneath the dunes leading to a sand-covered stone structure. The professor was confident it was the tomb we sought, and ordered the others to clear the way late into the dark, cold night. Tomorrow, I shall lead the men into the ancient structure, hoping to reach the burial chamber. No matter what the Professor is keeping from me, the dig should yield something interesting to take back to London and the British Museum.
Jolly good. Looting other countries' property to take you back to the British Museum. It's almost like uncovering an ancient evil and becoming cursed by it would be some kind of cosmic justice, I suppose. Oops. Although I have to admit, visiting the British Museum is certainly a guilty pleasure in a way. Not even that, it's just a great day out. I actually do recommend it if you ever happen to go there. If you find yourself in London, totally visit the British Museum. Just heard a thing. Shirts. No, never any replacement trousers though for when I wet myself.
17th of May, 1839. My hands tremble as I write. I feel a need to document my tribulation, for I fear that my memory will fail me if I linger. Today, I took some men and ventured into the dark, ancient passage we uncovered. Our torches burned faintly in the murky air as we slowly made our way underground. The men were superstitious and fearful. They argued loudly, and I felt their strange language getting to me. I mustered my strength and yelled at them to continue down the slopes and broken steps. The crudely carved passage confused me. It looked much older than the 4th century structure we had expected. The twisting path emerged into a great antechamber. The walls were lined with statues unlike any I'd ever seen. Despite their unearthly quality, I felt a strange familiarity toward them, which haunts me still. At the far end of the chamber, a great slab of stone sealed off whatever lay ahead. I gave the order to raise it, and as I pushed through the narrow space, the heavy stone suddenly dropped, sealing me inside. I was trapped.
Who knows? The plot thickens. I do enjoy the story of this game, though. It's obviously very Lovecraft inspired, but in a good way. Can I smash this? Yes, I can. Although, was it me that smashed it? That is the question. Old tomes. I'm sure that wasn't spooky ghost nonsense. I'm sure that was literally just... Okay, the piano might be spooky ghost nonsense, but that could I slammed the door shut and the book fell off the shelf. Calm down, Daniel. Anything in the dark bit here? Anything at all? Nope. Oh, I forgot how you can make the lantern swing. Whee! Sorry, I'll stop. I'm wasting lantern oil. Always check the drawers. And leave them open, because I'm rude like that. Local history. Locked. Well, there's the piano. Whoa! Well, it's a dark and foggy forest outside. And a fireplace with no chimney. Look at that. Actually, no, there is a chimney there. Tell a lie. It's full of cobwebs right now, though. What's in here? Oh, this is where we came in, isn't it? That didn't sound good. We're not particularly sane right now, either. You can tell because, like, the screen's wobbling a bit. Ah, bollocks. Well, at least we've got plenty of oil. Floor plans.
Much of the castle is old and hasn't been tended to for centuries. When the shadow arrives, it won't take long until things start falling apart.
We're just buying time anyway. Let's do what we can.
There isn't much to be done about the walls. We should reinforce weak structures. The ground will tremble, and there's a risk everything will cave in on us, especially downstairs. Here, and there. Let's get the servants working on it.
Origin, could you possibly piss off? Ugh. There we go. It's dead. I've killed it. Bloody minimizing my game. Ah, that'll be the spooky piano playing again. Do you mind? Let's light this. There we go.
May 1839. After pounding the unforgiving stone wall for what seemed like an eternity, I realized it was hopeless. I was trapped. I fell to the ground, gasping for air, trying to focus. That's when I saw a faint blue shimmer. My weakened body was heavy to carry, but I managed to push myself toward the enchanting light. It was waiting for me. Enclosed in dark nothingness, I felt myself drawn to the mystic light.
Ooh, pretty.
I reached out, closing it in my hands. The faint glow escaped my fingers and began to spark brightly and spirit me away, unlocking alien memories of spiraling towers, endless deserts, and impossible geometry. The next thing I can remember is the grating sound of stone being lifted, the voices of the Arabs pulling me to safety, and grasped firmly in my hands was the broken pieces of a most peculiar relic.
Okay, well. Yeah, we're not feeling particularly good. But we got a bit more exposition, a bit more backstory. And the piano man's at it again. Ah, yeah, this is pretty much completely collapsed, isn't it? That is most unhelpful. However, fragile but not breakable by hand. Perhaps if we were to... There we go. Progress!
You have to be swift when you activate the first one. You hear that? If it stops, you'll have to start over.
Isn't all this a bit excessive?
You can never be too careful, Daniel.
Sounds like he's eating a bag of crisps. Yeah. Apparently, it's supposed to be like the sound of him grinding his teeth, but it always did sound a bit like he's just eating a packet of crisps or something. Another copy of that bloody book. Ooh, this is readable. Come here. Also another copy of that book. There we go, got there in the end. Local folklore. Altstadt and Brennenburg Castle, 1801. Another region rich with lore is Altstadt, deep within the East Prussian woods. For centuries, there have been stories surrounding the hamlet and its neighbour, Castle Brennenburg. The quiet, forest-clad mountains dressed with scattered lakes is as picturesque as can be, albeit the area is haunted by the dark. Ask any local, and you will hear proof of the widespread superstition. All travellers should indulge themselves in such conversations, since it will certainly serve as an exciting entertainment. All of them have their own twists on the tales, but there are some motifs that keep reappearing. The Gatherers. This story reaches all the way back to the time of the 30 Years' War. It is said that soldiers who abandoned their duty got lost in the cold, dark woods and were forever damned to roam the grounds. Their bodies, wrought by their tainted souls, have left them disfigured and empty of essence. Many have cited them over the years and described them as horrid revenants. They move silently through the woods, shying away from any beholder. They are called gatherers, as they seem to follow some ambition to steal living creatures. It is their prey which can be heard struggling inside damp burlap sacks dragged behind them, which reveal their presence. What dark scheme do they follow? A visit undone. Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa, the well-known erudite, visited Altstadt at the start of the 16th century. He resided in the local inn for a fortnight as he looked for remnants of kingdoms past. During his stay, all the prominent members of society paid notice, and he is mentioned in many records of the time. One day, he went to investigate a burrow in the northwestern glades, only to never be seen again. Heinrich is known to have passed away in Grenoble some 10 years later. He dismissed the notion of ever visiting Altstadt, which makes you wonder what really happened. Who was this mysterious man who visited the sleepy hamlet in the woods, and what happened to him? The immortal Baron. The Baron of Brennenburg lives a reclusive life with his family at his castle nearby Altstadt. Unlike most of those of noble birth, rumours are inherited alongside the title. Researching the history reveals little before the castle was consumed by fire in the late 16th century. It was rebuilt by Alexander, a nobleman from the Rhinelands claiming the role as protector of the Prussian state. Alexander helped the region to flourish and remained popular throughout his presumed lifetime. The family has always been secretive when it comes to lineage and heritage. Therefore, the birth and death of Alexander and his offspring has never been fully recorded. This has fed the idea that the Baron is in fact the one and the same who came from the west over 300 years ago, lived through the time of occupation and joined the coveted Order of the Black Eagle, along with the great leaders of this country. Yeah, something makes me think that there's probably something to that. More oil, excellent. Right. This door is not going to open. Unless we find the mechanism that will allow us to open it. That was mentioned in the... Yeah. Mentioned in the flashback there we had. Where's the other one? There it is. Is there one more? There is. We done did it! Sanity, a slight headache. We have a key. Now, in Amnesia, it is wise to pick up the key last. Whenever you come across one. Regarding closing of the wine cellar. Wilhelm and his fools have endangered my research long enough with their absent-minded handling of the human vessels. The human vessels, eh? Ugh. The sheriff is keeping a watchful eye on the forest and is killing my trusty servants. It's just a matter of time until they follow the trail to Brennenburg. I need to lock Wilhelm and his men up to avoid further investigation from the public. The wine cellar will therefore be sealed off until the matter has been handled. Either the king's men leave, or they will starve. Whatever comes first, they can rot for all I care. Maybe I will feed them some wine. It should, in a sense, solve both my problems. As I said, pick up the key last. Well, this door's open now. Which means we've managed to circumnavigate the collapse back there. And we've got the key that we needed to get into the wine cellars, so that's nice. Okay. Time to go. Okay. I can't actually remember the way out. Oh, hey, look. That was serendipitous. How the fuck do I get out? Not that way. running time. Running away. Whew. First time you got legitimately spooked in this game. It's the first time I've gotten legitimately spooked in this playthrough, actually. I completely forgot about that bit. Oh god. Yeah, just get past the nasty stuff. Whew. Great. Okay. Progress has been made. But at what cost? Wine cellar key. The wine cellar is this way. Oh, right. Yep, some variety of eldritch horror.
Where did the Baron go?
Who cares? He left us enough wine to last us a lifetime. Or at least until tomorrow.
Honestly, to be fair, I thought Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth was a pretty good game. It was possibly a waste of a tinderbox. Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? Amnesia became the new hotness, and then everything decided to copy it. Even Frictional, like, when they went on to make Soma after this, Soma wasn't even remotely like this game, really. Soma is actually a very good game. It has a really cool story, but it's definitely not, like, super spooky Amnesia-type stuff. Ooh, okay. It disturbed someone's supper. Oh, the wine cellar.
The flicker, the bluish light.
Ugh. Damn it, I just lit these up. How many tinderboxes do I have? 10. Alright. Fine. I suppose I can afford it. Refilled the lantern. That's also good. There we go. Okay, the game was nice there. It refunded our tinderboxes. It's like they knew. Okay, we're just gonna get out of here now. How do we do that? That wasted a lot of our lantern oil, unless... No, well, you can only use those once. It's a much easier way of doing it. Come on, giant stone thing. Huh? Yeah, I watched Lil play a bit of bloody hell. Nearly killed myself there. I watched Lil playing some Darkwood the other day. It looked very interesting. Okay. Progress. Always good. We're just back to a slight headache again. Okay.
What's happening? Oh, it feels like my chest is going to burst. Oh.
My God! Wilhelm, do something!
Accept it. We're not getting out of here.
How can you say that? Alexander, you piece of shit! Let us out of here!
You ever realised you could speed up that whole endeavour with additional objects? You know what? Neither did I until now. Bleh. Give tinderbox. Thank you. That's what's left of the wine. Don't drink that. What a mess. Can we light this? No. Wilhelm's last words. My name is Wilhelm, House of Garrick. These are my final words, my confession and testament. 2 years ago, I was summoned to the Castle Brandenburg. As most of the aristocracy, I was curious about what the supposed Knight of the Order would want from me and accepted the invitation. The Baron was friendly and offered me a proposition. It dawned on me that the nature of the contract was sordid, and the reason I was chosen was because of the follies of my past and not the honors I've been rewarded with during my time as a soldier. I was to kidnap healthy humans upon his slightest whim and do so without asking questions. In return, he would attest to my character at the royal court, advancing my position within noble society. I would like to claim that I struggled with my decision, but it came swiftly and I accepted wholeheartedly. Ever since that day, I've brought men, women, and children to Brennenburg. I can't remember the numbers, but there were many, perhaps even 100, none of whom were ever seen or heard from again. Tonight, the Baron invited me and my men down to the wine cellar to celebrate our work. I had my suspicions as we descended the stairs, but he insisted and joined us in a toast. The wine tasted fine and my men drank without restraint. So begins the punishment for our sins. The Baron has locked us up and returned upstairs. Forgive me for what I've done. I was weak and fell into his diabolic ways. My men are screaming. Their skin has been pierced by their own tangled bones. I feel my insides revolt against their God-given nature. Blood has begun to pour from my eyes, and I can no longer continue writing. Okay, fine. I had the wardrobe prepared and everything. So there's these two doors. That's not opening. Yeah, let's hide in the corner. Use laudanum to drink and restore our health. That's the other thing about this game. The monsters and things, if you look at them, you lose sanity. So you don't even want to look at them. There's like a mechanical reason for you not to look at them, and that is genius, really, because it helps preserve their mystery. So we've now got the cuprite, the calamine, and the aqua regia. I think that's all we need. 4 chemicals. Oh, maybe not then. Let's see. Calamine and orpiment. Cuprite. Aqua regia. So we're missing orpiment. Which I suspect we might find in here. Take the tinderbox at least. And that one. Creepy crying children, naturally, and now it's probably a good time to leg it to the exit. Legging it to the exit. Oh, good. Oh, cosmic goo. Ugh. I like the little story bits in the loading screens, by the way. Splashy monsters moved on. Suppose that's nice at least. Okay, well, we have everything we need. So, Now we're just going to use this what's it? But to do that, we need to actually, you know, use them like that from the inventory screen. I just forgot. I say, do you mind? I'm trying to do an alchemical experiment here. Good heavens. The eldritch horrors of today, I tell you. Okay. Aha. Can I put it there now? For goodness sake, game. There we go. I'm gonna have to do that again now, aren't I? Bloody. Click spot was not quite right. Can you imagine if that was just it? I'd used up all the alchemical stuff. We had to go back and get more. Oh. Pot of acid, finally. What does that say on it? Delirium, Treminant, Battery, Applicandus. Sploosh. Oh, goody. Oh my god. Okay, that was weird. I've never solved that puzzle that way. Previously, I used to get the thing and put it here and then climb up, and it was always very frustrating because it didn't quite work with the physics and stuff. This is the first time I have ever successfully solved this puzzle the correct way. Apparently so. Well, I never. Oh boy. Ah. Ah! There's just more of this jam everywhere. How's our health doing? A few cuts and bruises. Ah, fine. Refinery. Alright, take this.
Dark in here.
Yes, and there's a good reason for it. But you can light the lamp now if you wish.
What's the reason? For the darkness, that is.
Stay close. Be careful not to stray.
What's the reason? Why is it so dark?
Pay attention, Daniel. It's important that you keep going straight and make sure not to stray.
I love that ominous message. Be careful when enemies are near. Like that. something is spooking Daniel out a bit there. I'm not sure what though. It's gonna close this behind me.
There's nothing left. Everything's gone.
That's some laudanum. Do you mind?
22nd of June, 1839. It's been more than a month since my last entry. After the event inside the underground chamber in Algeria, Professor Herbert insisted I return to England. He said he didn't want to risk forfeiting the entire expedition lest I took a turn for the worse. An excessive decision, in retrospect. But I'm glad it turned out that way. I found my journal this morning in the haphazard collection of things brought home from Africa. Next to it lay the broken stone orb wrapped in cloth. I tried to assemble it, but couldn't. The pieces wouldn't fit together, as if they weren't from the same object. Could I have imagined it all? Was there ever a complete orb?
This stuff just gets everywhere, doesn't it? It's like damp or asbestos. Oh, look, it's a severed limb. Lovely. Just wonderful. Lantern refilled, and also a puzzle. Something is clogging the crank and bloody contraption. One wonders why there were barrels against that door. One wonders indeed. 2 tinderboxes. Get in.
June.
We'll deal with him in a minute.
I feel the need to continue this journal, even though it was intended for my journey to Africa. This must be something very important. I just know it. I've taken it upon myself to piece the orb back together, but it's been more difficult than one might think. The pieces are behaving strangely. They seem to change color, shape, and texture, but ever so slightly. Yesterday, I took careful measurements and notated any significant markings. Today, I confirmed my suspicions. They were changing. I was terrified and rushed off to see the finest geologist in London, Sir William Smith. I approached the subject with care, and we discussed how rocks change form. He told me about the nature of glass, how it eventually collapses on itself, like ice slowly melting over the course of centuries. Smith eased my mind a bit, but I can't escape the feeling that these shards have otherworldly properties.
Oh boy. Let's just sit in the corner here. Sanity is now dangerously low. Well, that's, oh dear. I'm just going to sit here next to this candle for a bit. Oh, tinderbox. Give. Ooh, crikey. Coming back here was a mistake. Should have stayed in the puzzle room with the pulley in the whatever it's called. Closing that fucking door, mate. Let's go back in here. Let's put the barrels back in front of it, in fact. That seems like a grand idea. Right. Why is this stuck, then? Ah. Got a little bit of sanity back for that. Things are only going to get worse from here. Oh, good, it's this bit. Oh, jeez. Suddenly water everywhere. And splashy water monsters. Hello. Woo! Interestingly, this section reminds me of, I don't know if you remember, Indiana Jones and the Temple of... No, Emperor's Tomb, that's the one. Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb, which we played a while back. Which had that whole section with the crocodiles, and you had to throw objects to distract them. This thing sounds like it should be on a timer. I'm kind of waiting for it to time out. Yeah, hello, you jerk. Have a Bible. Sorry, I dropped the Bible. You'll have to make do with, whatever this is. Oh boy. Like it. Oh, I pulled the lever wrong. You're right. I was wondering why there wasn't a noise. Also just ran out of lantern oil as well. Oh god! No! How about you take this and you bugger off into that corner? Ha! Not so smart now, are you? Where are you? Do I have any more books I can throw at you? Yes. Yes, I do. Okay. Oh, I can double click the oil? Ah, cheers. Have that. Oh, he's outside. Right, we're gonna need to get you. Right, and hell. My supply of books is running out. Oh, I'm still in very familiar territory now. I got quite far into this game. I don't remember exactly how far, but very late into the game indeed. I can't really say without spoiling. Yeah, but you can't pick these up, mate. Trying to be a smart aleck, Mark. Come on, matey. Come on. Okay. You know what? It becomes a lot less scary if you imagine that it's actually just an invisible goose. Right. Off you go. Oh, God. I forgot to pull the lever. This is going well, isn't it? Yeah, to be fair, invisible geese that is a relatively terrifying concept, admittedly, but you know. Right. Oh god. Through the door, portcullis thing. And, oh, hello, Severed Torso. Did it just burp? Okay, my friend. I'm going to give you some food here. I'm going to feed you some lunch. I'm just trying to figure out where I need to go while that's happening. Ah, lantern oil. There's a door over there. I suppose that's probably where we want to be. Oh, you've come back for more, have you? That's why you shouldn't feed the animals. Go on then, greedy bastard. Oh yes, I remember this bit now. That is a portcullis which we need to wheel open with this. You are very hungry, aren't you? Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. This way. Woo! Oh dear. Right, that was close. Any tinder boxes I can grab in here? I don't think so. Oh! Oh gosh. Ah, I needed that. Memory serves, this is the bit where you just run. Just fucking leg it, mate. That is a preposterously creepy statue. What's the deal with the little channels on the ground? Weird, isn't it? Ooh. Chest. Loot. It has occurred to me that I want to go that way, yeah. It has occurred to me that probably the best way to do this is by incrementally only putting a little bit in your lantern, because that way you get the most out of the little oil containers when you find them, versus filling the whole thing up completely using your oil. Probably doesn't make that much of a difference, but it is slightly more efficient that way. Letter regarding the discovery of an orb. To my most trusted student and friend, Johann Weyer. The most remarkable thing happened as I was traveling through the Prussian woods this summer. I finally found one of the orbs I've been looking for the last 20-odd years. It is as inexplicable as the Heliodromus described it in the Hortus Conclusus. It was, as it was told about, an underground Mithraic temple crowned with the unearthly artifact. The orb was big enough to fill in my cupped hands, and the texture was smooth and jagged. It's smooth and jagged, color washed while rich. Contrast is not enough to describe its nature. It was an impossibility, an artificial paradox captured within stone. I was staying in a nearby village called Altstadt, investigating one of the antiquated trails when I finally found the cavern. I went inside, and suddenly I could verify the truth of these enigmatic artifacts. They were real. As you can understand, this is the most important discovery of my life, but it has also become my greatest fear. As I entered the underground chamber, I could feel that I was trespassing. Because of my curiosity, I did my best to fight these instincts and fetch the orb from its place. I scrambled out of the chamber and into the woods. I could sense something was following me. It bayed loudly as it closed in. The beast, this guardian of the orb, was relentless in its pursuit. I made my way to a nearby ravine where I stumbled upon some men fishing in the lake. I tried to warn them as I passed, but fortunately they remained as I continued my escape. When I heard their cry of pain echo through the valley, I felt such a tremendous sense of relief, thinking I would be spared. Suddenly, a blue shimmering light engulfed me, and the colors of the forest were washed away before my eyes. I kept running through the bleak surroundings, the trees that turned charcoal black with leaves of cinder, the ground covered in murky water. I pressed on through the drenched land as the glowing ember gave way to the rising wind and rained on me. I could hear pleading screams in the distance, and I joined in as pain and fear overtook me. I fell to the ground, gasping for air. This certainly must sound strange, but I had been carried miles away across the Alps to a grassy field outside Genoa. The Guardian had taken the orb from me, but still until this day I fear its return. Sometimes I lay awake at night, listening for the howling cry I heard in the forest. It's been nearly a decade since that day, and I still haven't been able to write about the incident. The last time we spoke, you told me about your interest and ongoing research into the mythic orbs, and I realized I owed you the truth about my visit to Altstadt. Your friend and mentor, Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa. Yeah, so we heard that he came here and then disappeared and then later claimed he'd never been here before. I guess that's the truth. Boo! Good evening, Widlance. I'll have that, I think. It's only been an hour and a half. My goodness, it feels like longer. Good God, yeah, it's only 10:30. Oh, yes. Dog lovers will find this difficult to watch. Chambers of the human skull. Milestones of human anatomy. Understanding balance. The canine jaw. Dead burb. Dead doggo head.
Let's see what you have to offer. should have sharpened the saw, but I can sense it. It's definitely there.
One spook so far. It's been plenty spooky, but yeah, there was one that caught me completely off guard because I forgot about it. Yeah. In case it wasn't really obvious that this guy was incredibly evil. That was the additional evidence. I think that's our guy, by the way. I think that's him. Really likes this one particular book about plants as well. Big fan of this one. Pflanzenreich. Anatomy Frontiers. Oh gosh, here we go. 1658, January 9th. So this is a long time ago he did this. Further disappointment. The antiquarian's latest findings yielded nothing. I'm still unable to grasp the inner workings of life and its relation to the power I sense within it. I shall pursue more books on the subject, but I suspect it will be in vain. Since no research has been made in my particular interest, I must attempt to fill that void myself. Clearly, humans emanate more of the energy I seek, but I hope animals will suffice, as they would prove less of a hassle to acquire. Yeah. Yeah, your moral compass isn't completely fucked up, mate. Interestingly. Okay, no, the feather does, the quill does fall out of the ink pot when you drop it. That's a nice touch. Haven't checked the drawers. It's like, this room feels significant, and yet I've not found anything. There's a lot of skulls. As morbid as it sounds, one day I'd love to visit the Paris catacombs. They're like something out of Indiana Jones.
We're watching you, scum.
Sarah, thank you for that gift sub as well. Mark, enjoy your emote stuff, my dude. Welcome to the sub club. Okay, not good. Although, lantern oil. Ah. Well, I assume progress any further in this direction is not going to happen. Yeah, there we go. Got to get around the rubble, which basically means we're going to go through the window. Let's go through the window. I'm going to need this chair. There we go. Admit it, you've always wanted to throw a chair through a window. A very rare look indeed at the outside of the castle. The Sedlec Ossuary in the Czech Republic. No, I have not heard of it. Oh look, there's more stuff. Forgot to check if there's a way in through any of these windows, actually. So Daniel's slowly losing it because we don't have any light out here. Aha! And another one of these weird things. When will it be my turn? Have I not shown restraint? My patience spans centuries. From where I came, mankind has not even wasted a breath, yet I bow to you. I have done so much for you, and I have gained nothing in return. Agrippa, I trusted you. It was I who, in all fairness, should have entered that gate. More cryptic... I don't know what to call that, really. Memories, recordings, something like that. East Prussia, yes. Because obviously East Prussia sounds spookier. Run, chair! Save yourself! You too! Get out while you still can! Tell my wife I love her. Oh god. Okay, you want to stay? Okay, fine. Weirdo. Ah! Flow cycle rod. Elevator machine instructions. If the elevator breaks down again, make sure to use the steam engine to build up pressure before channeling it into the machinery. Adjust the levers to get the right amount of pressure inside the chamber. The meter should read up 8, down 8.
We're watching you.
Scum. Master process. Thank you very much for 14 months in a row. Is this game as scary as it was made out to be? Absolutely. I have made attempts at playing this game many times in the past. Never have I finished it. For one of either of two reasons. One, because I got stuck on a puzzle. Or two, because I chickened out because it was goddamn terrifying. I don't know how much it holds up to a modern audience these days now that I think about it. It's not that old, but I played it at the time. Oh, goodness me. 9 years. Is it 9 years old already? Bloody hell. Mind you, the Let's Play I've been recording is for a game that's... 24 years old, I think? Yeah, 24 years old. There's a clue for you. Make sure the flow is set according to the following chart. Trinity steam set functions, 4-phase amplitude, complete steam flow cycle. Note that the machine will not check proper configuration until all rods are inserted. That's going to be useful later. Look, you can even see the ink spilling everywhere. Alright, Daniel, calm down. It's just dark. He says from the comfort of his desk. That was not intentional. I didn't know I could close the door with a book. Arena. What year did Arena come out? It was 1994. I'm such a vandal. Anyway, we've got what we came for, I guess. Which was that machine part there and that note. Not that we realize we need it right now, because we've not found the machine yet. But there is a machine. We just found a vital part of it. Nice, soothing, wonderful music. Let's check the guest room.
My journal is gone. What would they want with my journal?
I didn't know this game was on the Switch, actually, I have to confess. An old game to me is anything from like... I mean, the definition changes as I get older, I suppose, but to me right now, I consider an old game to be anything from 2002 and prior. Anything after 2002 doesn't feel old to me. There's something just goddamn satisfying about smashing crockery. And you.
2nd of July, 1839. I received a letter today from the Algerian governor's office disclosing the fate of Herbert's expedition. About a week after my departure, Abdullah, one of the men traveling with us, returned from the desert. He was badly injured, as if maimed by a lion. The man rambled deliriously about the expedition being attacked by something horrible. The French quickly dispatched a search party to look for the expedition. After searching for days, they found the camp abandoned without any trace of Herbert or his men. Tomorrow, I'll retrieve the things they recovered from Herbert's tent at the customs house. I don't know what to make of it, but I'm worried for him.
Spooky. Perhaps he and his men were attacked by the same thing that attacked Agrippa when he found an orb in Prussia. I don't know.
3rd of July, 1839. Today I picked up Herbert's things at the customs house. I dug through the trove of documents he had carried and found a log detailing the expedition. The nature of this text ranged from quick notes to colourful accounts of transpired events. I skimmed the pages, trying to figure out what might have happened. May 17th, the day I was trapped inside the orb chamber, Herbert dryly states, "Recovered Daniel after 1 hour of entrapment." This confused me greatly. I was suffocating within minutes. How could I have lasted an hour? I continued reading the peculiar text. Herbert states his facts without judgment or passion, but suddenly I could read frustration into his text. He pushed his men to investigate the underground tomb, an effort which seems to have strained the minds of his men. Madness spread through the ranks, and Herbert had to take some extreme measures to continue. He finally visits the chamber himself, where he retrieves the orb to the surface. His account confuses me greatly. If he has the orb, what are those pieces in my drawing room?
What on earth did that poor mirror, I guess, do to you? Stuck due to a broken lock. Well, it's a jolly good thing we found a crowbar, isn't it?
The key. Please, let it be here.
Let's hope that very loud noise just there didn't attract anything.
4th of July, 1839. It's done. The orb is assembled. I was awakened by an exhausting nightmare. Shaking and sweating, I retired to the drawing room with a cup of tea. The relic pieces lay spread across the table as I'd left them, but somehow I knew how it was supposed to be. I fetched the tar, which I had prepared to fix the pieces together, and without fault I joined them, producing the orb I remembered so clearly. The tar proved unnecessary. It was pushed out from the joining pieces as they merged on their own, with no adhesive. The ancient stone relic now rests on my table. Its immaculate surface and perfect shape could have been molded by a factory. This is all too strange.
No. I believe it is left. Stupid cockroaches. Shall vent my impotence on you. And those who don't have the nice soothing music in here anymore.
Don't forget your bag, Daniel.
I won't, Herbert.
There is no shame in using a parasol in the desert. As it happens, it's imperative to your survival.
but it looks ridiculous.
The shade will hurt much less than dying, I assure you.
Oh yeah, we streamed quite a bit of Subnautica back a couple of months ago, Mark. Surprised you weren't there for it, actually. Oh, goody. Okay, here we go into storage. Extra dark down here. The darkness of the storage feels strange and unnatural. Yep. We have 17 tinderboxes. We may need them.
Please, let me go. I won't tell anyone, I swear. I just want to go home. No! Get away from me! Leave me alone!
Some evil and terrible things have happened here. That much is obvious. That won't budge. And that is caved in and collapsed. We need to get rid of that cave in. Primary.
Getting closer somehow.
Regarding explosive mixture, Alexander, I've prepared the explosives you needed for clearing the flood drain. I can't stress enough how important it is that the mixture is handled with care. Please try to tell your feather-brained servants this before you go ahead with your plans. The liquids are not by themselves explosive and should be kept separated to avoid further mishaps. I have arranged 2 large vats in the next room for the ingredients. All you need to do is mix the liquids and you're ready to go. Agrippa. How is our sanity doing? Slight headache. Okay, good. It's good that we have a headache for once. Ah. Come on, game, give me the tinderbox. There we go. And another one. Good. It's not being stingy with the tinderboxes, at least. Even if I am. Just to be on the safe side. Drill part. That is important. Only part of a drill, though. We need the rest. Because the valves on these have rusted shut. Wasn't a drill part in here that I missed, was there? Oh, there was a tinderbox I missed, though. Just think you miss things because you're in a rush, because your lantern's running out of oil, etc., etc. Drill parts, drill parts, drill parts. Looking for drill parts. No. On the desk, are you sure? This is not the room of the desk. There's a hammer. That's it. And that is a scrapey tool thing. I forget what they're called. I don't do a lot of DIY in case that wasn't obvious. Won't be hard to find. Ah. There you go. Some items can be combined in the inventory. Can't assemble the drill yet. Ah, we're still missing a part. Possibly the other drill part is up here somewhere. Let's have a look. Aha. Daniel's eyes do adjust very quickly to the dark, don't they? Ah. Bugger. Not a sound we want to hear. Yeah, good idea in general to close the door. In Amnesia, after entering a room. That clicking noise is Daniel eating packets of crisps in the no, it's supposed to be him grinding his teeth, I believe. But it doesn't. It sounds kind of weird. I think it's just honestly they just put it in because it's a generally unpleasant noise that's supposed to, you know, hammer home the fact that you don't want to be in the dark. Right. We now have all three drill parts. We are going to use them like so. We'll use our chemistry pot from earlier to fill up the explosive mixture. Oh, I forgot you can lean in this game as well, by the way. Leaning. Now there's a function that died out with the popularity of games consoles. Explosives. The Shadow does not seem happy about us acquiring these explosives. think our monster friend lives in there. Come on, game. Do not solve the explosion before you are safely out of the blast area. Yeah, we need to basically throw a rock at it. Kaboom! Barely conscious. Oh dear. There we go. How are we doing? Making progress. Getting scared half to death most of the time, but be scared is a bit strong. More like unsettled. Although, even though I've played this game already and I know what happens for a great deal of the first half or so of it, it's still creepy as fuck.
Why are you doing this? Get away from me!
Ooh, dead piggies. Lots of rotten bread. Oh god, can you imagine the smell? Can you imagine the frickin' smell? Ugh. Oh dear God. That caught me off guard. I totally forgot about that. Woo! I'm gonna hide in the corner with you piggies. Yikes. Yeah, good thing the lantern wasn't out, you're right. Now, sometimes particularly earlier in the game, the monsters kind of despawn. But sometimes they don't. In this particular case, I genuinely don't actually know. He could be lurking around here somewhere, in which case I'm going to try and be sneaky. Although I suspect... Is there something useful in here? Tinder boxes are useful, I guess. I love the name of that clip, that's awesome. Well, that story didn't have a happy ending, did it? machine parts this way. Sure. Right, game, you had your jump scare. You cheap bastards. I believe touching that will hurt us, so I'm not going to. That's a big old cog. Say, Dave, why are you piling up crates at the door? Oh, no reason. In case of a missing rod, if a full set of 3 rods is unavailable, there is 1 rod in the inner study rooms, which might work in case the elevator breaks down again. We have got that rod. Unless it is absolutely necessary, always use the spare rods in the storage before using a mended one. So if we'd come here first, we would have found only 2 rods and then had to bugger off to the study. As it happens, I just decided to blunder on into the study and accidentally find my way there and pick the thing up anyway. So, we still haven't visited the elevator and the machine yet, by the way. I'm doing this relatively efficiently, weirdly enough. Okay, if I sit behind this, I'm technically considered within the light. Did I keep the door open the first time? No, I don't think so. I think by this point I'd already learned my lesson to close doors behind me by the time I got to this point the first time I played the game. However, I can't remember, you know what? I don't think he goes away this time. I think we might have to leg it past him to try and get out. Luckily, our sixth sense, in the form of the music, will let us know if he's buggered off. But I don't think he's going to. Okay. So basically, we're gonna have to run for it. Especially considering foolish old me lit up all of this stuff on the way through. Oh, there he is. There's your boy. He's coming this way as well, which is really... Oh, boy. He's just standing there. Okay, it wasn't standing there. I saw a shelf and thought it was him. Which means he's somewhere else. Oh boy. Shadow's angry. Oh, hello! Matey, I'm gonna go now because you're like a Morrowind enemy where load doors stop you, so... Toodaloo. Okay, good. The cosmic horror seems to be annoyed with us. Funny thing about storage, you can have 3 grunts spawned at the same time if you mess up with the triggers. Really? Wow. Okay. Somewhere out there's some poor unfortunate who managed that on their first playthrough.
You have an ascending room. Will it take us to the inner sanctum?
It will definitely take care of the vertical part of our journey. So, you have ridden an elevator before?
Yes, the Colosseum at Regent's Park has one. It takes you to the gallery where you can view the panorama.
Good. This ride might be a little longer, and in the other direction.
Yes, the elevator is not working. If we'd come here first, all of these puzzles and stuff would have made a lot more sense. All these items we were getting, I mean. Oh, that's a plot twist. I didn't realize it was locked. Where the fuck's the key? Oh, don't I have the key? Picked it up ages ago. No? Okay, I don't. But I do have this needle that I can't use to unpick it. That's annoying. I missed it at the guest room. Oh, did I? Oh, I'm a genius. Alright, back to the guest room then. That's the first time I've missed it, actually. It's in here somewhere. Maybe not. Where is the bloody key? Oh. Laudanum, that's useful. Guess I came back for that.
Daniel?
What?
Still having nightmares, I see.
Yes, I can't shake them. They come every night.
We'll put a stop to them. You'll see.
To be fair, this guy is like several hundred years old, so I imagine he's had plenty of time to perfect his accent. So if he sounds American. Do you know what? In this case, you can probably hand wave it. Smashing things. Ah! Alright, where is this bloody key? Be gone, taxidermied rabbit. Sure, I threw you off the desk before. Come on, I've played this game 3 or 4 times before. Where is the... Do you know, it's so weird. I have played this game 3 or 4 times before, and never previously do I remember having difficulty finding this key. Yeah, I can't find my keys, just like real life, yeah. Performance anxiety? I think it's just the classic let's play a blindness. You always take a -3 to your perception score whenever you're streaming or recording. Ah, finally.
Oh, thank God, there it is. I guess it is a good place to hide it then.
Apparently so, Daniel. This stuff is pretty disgusting. Behold, I now have the key and my lantern is nearly empty. Luckily, I think there might be a lantern oil thingy dispenser in here somewhere.
July, 1839. Today, I went to the university looking for answers. I was able to sneak into Herbert's office and pick up an address book along with some relevant textbooks. Professor Taylor at the Faculty of History was very helpful, and I managed to approach the subject of the orbs. The most interesting aspect was the prevalent trace they had left in our culture. The mythic orbs may, in fact, have inspired the globus cruciger, which so many royal regalia holds to this day. In ancient times, the orbs were held by priests as a symbol of the sun and its power. As I was leaving, I overheard a disturbing conversation. Sir William Smith, the geologist, was killed last night. Less than a fortnight had passed since I'd asked for his expertise. I know it's silly, but I can't help feeling responsible somehow.
It's because you were responsible, Daniel. Now, something I can light here. Ah, there is. There we go. This needs to read 8 up, 8 down, doesn't it? So, puzzles. Flow is even and stable. What madman designed this system? I mean, honestly. Oh wait, probably Baron Alexander, who is indeed a madman, so fair enough. Indeed, I'm doing my part as a streamer and participating in the Halloween festivities. Although, it is also Orktober, so I might have to do something orky themed on Wednesday. I reinstalled Blood Bowl recently. It's getting to that time of year again where I need to have another go at Blood Bowl and fail miserably at it, so.
Is anyone there?
Right. Yeah, once a year, roughly, I reinstall Blood Bowl and have another go at it, and always fail miserably at it, and then fail, and then just decide, right, I've had enough. I uninstall it, and then next year I try again. I am incredibly bad at Blood Bowl. For about 4 years running since I originally bought the game. I've repeatedly tried to get good at Blood Bowl and failed. I will be interested to see what my take on it this time is, now that I've gotten back into more Games Workshop tabletop gaming in general. I wonder if that will perhaps help me understand the game better, but I don't know. Right, Trinity Steam Rod, 4-phase amplitude rod, and the flow cycle rod. Boop. 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 That wasn't too hard to figure out. Yeah.
14th of July, 1839. I've read every book I can find on the subject. While rich in legend and hearsay, my knowledge is lack for the insight I crave. I've sent letters to many in Herbert's address book and received answers of varying importance. Today, I got one which differed greatly from the others. From a baron in Prussia. He said nothing about the quaint stories of priests in underground temples. He didn't even mention them. He simply wrote, I know. I can protect you. Come to Brennenburg Castle. Signed, Alexander. What am I to make of this? Protect me from what? Is someone after me? I looked up Brennenburg and traced it to the Prussian woods near the Baltic Sea. While being the least informative letter I've received, it causes me greatest distress and interest. As I write, my thoughts are drawn to my nightmares in which a most disturbing sound calls to me. A sound defying description. A voice from the void. The last few weeks have been awful, with so many sleepless nights dreading a repeat of those horrid dreams. Tomorrow, I shall visit my physician, Dr. Tate, in hope that he can provide me with sedatives to help me sleep.
So that's how he was first introduced to Alexander. And yet another copy of the Kingdom of Plants. fucking book! Right. That wasn't a ghostly hiss at all, I was just escaping steam, I'm sure.
17th of July, 1839. How has this escaped me? They're all dead. Limbs scattered, heads split down the middle, their skin flayed as if boiled. I feel like I'm falling into myself. What's happening? Sir William Smith, Professor Taylor, now Dr. Tate. Is it following me? How can it not be? It's the damn thing I brought from Africa. Something is after me. I have no choice but to trust the Baron. He better know what he claims. If he is wrong, I suspect he'll regret it as well.
What's the story here? We're playing as a gentleman called Daniel, and he wakes up in this castle in Prussia with no memory of how he got there, and finds a note from himself telling him to go and find the Baron Alexander and kill him, because he's a bad, bad man, and by killing him we will somehow redeem ourselves. And as we explore the castle, we find more of Daniel's notes, and we discover that he went on an expedition to Africa, where they uncovered an ancient tomb in which he found a spooky, spooky orb thing, and now some sort of Lovecraftian horror is chasing him around and killing everyone he talks to, and so on and so forth. And as you just saw there, we've reached the point in his diaries where he's finally met Alexander, the Baron of Brennenburg. Yeah. Who is, as we have discovered through various other notes and stuff we found, a very bad man indeed. Who seems to be obsessed with finding eternal life or something. Alright. Wow, that really was only a few drops of oil. There we go. Another tinderbox. Okay, well, I'm in here because we need a bit of coal. For it is a steam engine. Ah, it needs more coal. Alright. Fine. Is there a light in here? There we go. That should do it, hopefully. It's now full of coal. Good. Ah. Cogs. These cogs actually do, in fact, serve a purpose. There's that one. Find some others. I think we need, maybe that's enough actually. I'll just go check to be sure. I think we need 3 of them. But I might actually be wrong there. Oh, no, here we go. Right. Success! Look at that little wheel spin. I need to play the Infernal Machine again. I know we... Oh dear. More cosmic horror catching up with us. Very good. It's probably time we were leaving. Anyway, as I was saying, I genuinely don't care that I only played the Infernal Machine fairly recently. I want to play it again, especially now there's a GOG version of it out. It's not even that good a game. It's just, it's just one I have a slightly ridiculous amount of nostalgia for. It's going the wrong way. Oh God. I might have to let's play it on YouTube or something, I don't know. That and Trespasser, bizarrely enough. Oh boy. I kind of want to play Trespasser again. Does this game have jump scares or is it more of a tension? Oh, it's both. It's definitely both. Jump scares, tension building, and something in between too. It's, wound is bleeding quite badly. So, fix that, yeah. It's not good. Curse you, Cosmic Jam! Now we have reached the prison. This part of the game is the part where the first time I attempted a playthrough, I noped out.
Come this way.
What was that?
Forgive me, I should have warned you. One of my responsibilities as a Baron is that of a prison warden. This is where criminals are locked up.
Like a dungeon?
Very much so. Come, don't linger.
Yeah, if you hadn't shat bricks until this point in the game, you definitely do this bit. Yes, anyway, so when I first played this game, my first attempted playthrough ended here at this section because this is the bit where I was just like, yeah, no, I'm not subjecting myself to this anymore. Oh, I done goofed. I've gotten it stuck. Go on this way. Look at that darkness. Yep. Cell area 1. Oh, I forgot about that little effect of the bugs crawling on the screen. That's horrible. I think that might be a side effect of my terrible sanity at the moment. Especially if you're playing in a dark room with all the lights off, that bugs crawling on the screen thing. Boy. That had me going the first time. I was like, oh god, what? Ah, that hammer, unlike the previous hammers, is actually useful. Go. Oh boy, our sanity is fucked right now. It's still in there, I can hear it. Let's leave. Let's go somewhere else. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yet further mistakes have been made. Oh, this one doesn't even have a door. Oh dear. We might just run out of sanity at this point, honestly. Yes, that's Daniel grinding his teeth. And yes, it is a kind of awful noise. Oh, my mouse is too, like the controls have gone all weird now. That's how low on sanity we are. It might be easier at this point to just die. locked. However, the lock is very corroded and weak. Ah, we do have a hammer. Something else is needed though. Ah, possibly a chisel. I suppose we can combine. No.
Where is she? Where did she go?
No, I won't tell. I'll never tell you.
You're just making things worse. Look, this is no place for a young girl all by herself. She could be hurt or worse. There's no telling what horrors await down there.
It is a deeply disturbing game, and you haven't even seen the worst of it yet. There's the chipper though. Okay, something's angry. Although my sanity seems to have been restored slightly, which is nice. Made a little bit of progress. Does standing in the light restore sanity? I thought it just sort of... I wasn't sure if it restored it or if it just sort of kind of stopped you from losing any more. Robust padlock that's in good shape. Which means we'll need to weaken it somehow before we can get through it, I believe. Yes, I think Django is definitely something of a fan of this game. Man, these textures are lower than I remember them being. My graphics settings are set right, aren't they? Hmm. Losing track of where I've been now. Ah.
But Mother, I don't want to leave without you.
Hurry, child. You must go. Find Gabriel, the Outrider, and tell him to alert the King's men.
No, you come too.
Please, we don't have time to make the hole any wider. Someone is coming. Hurry! I'll cover the hole with the bed. Everything will be fine. I promise.
And there's the hole. However, not big enough for us to get through. Unless, of course, we use this. Oh, this is some nightmare fuel, this. Come on. There we go. Yes, that bit in Black Ops. I was thinking of that too, yeah. Kitchen. It won't budge. That is the padlocked gate from earlier. Welcome to the kitchen. As you can see, we are serving rotten apples sliced with a rusty knife. Only the finest in our cuisine. Ouch. I thought I was grabbing the pot, but I wasn't. We have rotten bread.
2nd of August, 1839. I have arrived at the village of Altstadt. It's a haven in the midst of a vast forest and the last stop before my final destination, Castle Brennenburg. It's late in the evening, and the outrider, who has been with the coach since Bremen, advised me to wait until morning before I venture further. I've arranged for a bed at Der Müller, the village's only inn, and am now waiting for the sun to rise. I try to sleep, but as I close my eyes, I see the men who fell victim in London. My fear and shame forces me to witness the same scenes over and over. They are dead because of me.
Yes, they are, Daniel. Well, not really. They're dead because of the cosmic shadow thing, but you were also stupid enough to nick the orb from the, There's some very fragile plates. From its eternal resting place. That apparently is the height at which you can drop it and break it. To be fair, actually, if I dropped one of my plates from that, about that high, onto the table, it probably would break. Yeah. The plate physics checkout game, you're fine. Oh, we have a lovely thing of acid here. Wonderful. There is something we might have to dissolve in it, like this dead piggy. Whoa. Dead piggy with some really messed up legs, apparently. Rest in peace, piggy. Also dead rats. I can't pick up the dead rats. Dead pigs? Fine. Dead rats? No. It is very effective acid, isn't it? Will it dissolve a glass bottle? I want to find one of the unbreakable ones. Yeah, I think this is one of the unbreakable ones. Yeah. Will it dissolve the unbreakable glass beaker? No. No, it won't. Fair enough, this thing is actually indestructible. Also, the bottleneck is too narrow for the flask to be filled without spilling the acid, but a glass container is an ideal vessel. Good to know, game. I've never had that hint before, because I don't think I've ever tried to dissolve one of these bottles in it before. Sploosh. Okay. Oddly satisfying, yeah. It kind of is, actually. Oh my goodness, look at that. Welcome to my new Twitch show, everybody. Will it dissolve? That apparently will not dissolve. Just cooking my famous stew here. We add the flour, including the bag. We have already added the dead pig, and some rotten bread. We simply require possibly a live mouse. Hello, mouse. A rotten apple. Wonderful. And another wooden crate containing... that's best not to ask. Will it dissolve a knife? Will the acid dissolve a 1,000 degree hot knife when YouTube videos collide? I don't think it did dissolve. Oh my god, the knife is haunted. It is just weirdly satisfying, isn't it? You could make a whole game that was just dissolving things in a bucket of acid, and I would probably play it. Also, did the lighting just change? Or is that my monitor thing being weird again? Come on. Damn. That one won't dissolve, apparently. acid is not glowing like it once was. I think it might actually just be my... It probably hasn't changed a bit on the stream. I think it was just my... Mask, get out of my kitchen! Will I dissolve? I believe the answer is yes. Oh my god, the knife! It finally got free! Doesn't want to go back in, apparently. Yep. We will, in fact, dissolve. Yeah, I have a piece of software called Flux, which lowers the blue light level of my monitors later in the evening to help me sleep. And it doesn't interact with this game terribly well. It seems to it keeps switching on and off when while this game is active in full screen. So my lighting occasionally changes weirdly, and I sometimes can't tell if it's part of the game or not. Right, after that brief interlude in the kitchen, time to head back out into the madness that is these horrible dark corridors. Can you tell I needed a bit of stress relief there? Oh, God. You motherfucker. I think he spotted me. So I should hide here. It's the piggies. That was a great time for a raid. Hi Lil, thanks for the raid. I'm hiding behind half a dead pig currently, because there's a monster outside that wants to eat me. Hi Kilgar as well. You are my only friend, pig. Drop the monster in the acid. Yeah, will it dissolve? Let's try the monster. Sadly, no. This pig is suffering from oh god, suffering from a case of rigor mortis. I think it's very rigid. Unlike the other dead pig, whose polygons were so unrigid, they were kind of breaking the laws of physics. If you've just joined us, I'm afraid you missed that particular gruesome display. Right, have you gone away now? You horrible thing. Storage. I've had enough of storage, game. Every time I go into somewhere labeled storage, bad things happen. There's a thudding noise coming from that direction. I don't like it. I really do hate this section of the game with a passion.
Is he safe? Well, it's for his own good.
She deserved it, that little bitch.
Soon it will be ready. Let there be enough time.
Poor condition.
Where is he now?
Oh, yeah, right. This is what we need the acid for. But first we need a container for the acid.
Hey, you! Stop!
Don't come any closer. I just want to leave.
You can't go outside. It's too dangerous.
I'm telling Gabriel.
I doubt that very much.
I think I've already been down this bit, actually. As I was saying earlier, when I first tried to play this game, back when it came out, oh boy. Okay, I'm just gonna hide behind this. When I first played this game back in the day, this prison section here is about as far as I got before I just noped out. I was like, yeah, you know what? No, I'm done. I'm not playing this anymore. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. Yeah, like if you played this in VR, I'm pretty sure I'd give myself a heart attack. Playing this for the first time in VR, I think that probably constitutes cruel and unusual torture. Okay, I think he's gone. And now... oh boy. Head is pounding and hands are shaking. Safe to say we're not having a very good day. Right, we still need a container for this acid. But this is where we need to go once we've got it. We need to try and make it some sort of mental note. Kitchen that way. Bloody Nora! Will you guys quit it? I'm trying to make some freaking progress here, and you guys are just... don't even know where it is. It's all going wibbly wobbly. Yeah, we are. Our sanity is dot right now. That is how our sanity is. I'm just gonna go in here and hope the monster isn't in here. Good. That could have been my worst mistake of all time.
3rd of August, 1839. I feel like I have fled the world and all its worries. Brennenburg is a majestic creation perched upon a forest-clad hill with towers reaching well above even the highest pine trees. Following the winding road leading to the gates gives the impression of discovering something forgotten, as if journeying with Marco Polo to the hidden Xanadu. Alexander, the Baron, is a peculiar but gracious man. He seems well versed in worldly matters, and is not at all as eccentric as I assumed. My room is exquisite, and I'm confident that no hotel for miles could even hope to match it. As the sun sets on Brennenburg, its fairy tale varnish turns to an eerie gloom. Alexander's strange servants are never far away. They are a quiet lot, and their behavior could only be described as skulking. Alexander seems pleased by my presence. As he puts it, it seems like I got here just in time.
I need to find some light, proper light, not just the lantern. Just gonna sit here next to this for a while, so we can regain some of our sanity. Yeah, I imagine Brennenburg is fictional. As you can see, even the controls go really funky when you're this insane, I guess. Although, as I said, this isn't the first game to use a mechanic like this. Penumbra Overture, which is Penumbra is the game that the Frictional Games developers made before this one. Which, as I said, I'd like to have another crack at one of these days. That had the sanity system in it too, and what was the other one? Call of Cthulhu: Dark Corners of the Earth had a whole sanity-related mechanic too. Also a pretty good game, actually, that one. And I think you can get it on GOG these days too. So there you go. I recommend it. I will never forget the first time I encountered a Shoggoth in that game. Ah, God. They'll just did a giveaway of Call of Cthulhu. Well, there you go. It's a great game. I'm definitely a fan. Sort of a video game version of The Shadow over Innsmouth, I think, from what I remember. At least to the bit I played. You gain some, you lose some, yeah. Oh dear. This asshole needs to go away. I think whatever I'm after is probably in that room. Although, do you know what? That doesn't make any sense. I think what we're after is in storage, surely. Yeah, I was going to say, Django, I think, yeah, I'm glad you've confirmed that for me, because when I sat down and thought about that for a second, yeah, no, I think we need to go to storage. Oh good, there's light in here. Just gonna shut that and find some boxes. Ugh, it's very difficult to move boxes around when you're this mad. I've never really known if this stuff helps, to be honest, but it always made me feel better. The music hasn't changed, which means he's still out there somewhere. Right, our sanity is back to marginally mad, as opposed to completely. For heaven's sake. There we go. How's our lantern oil doing? Not great. Yeah, no, it's Brennenburg, not Brandenburg. Of course Brandenburg's real. Back into the dark we go. Now we just have to get back to the kitchen. Unfortunately, I can't quite recall which way the kitchen is. I think it might be that way because there's this gate in the way here, isn't there? By the way, that bit down there, we will eventually go there. Much later in the game, we'll find ourselves on the other side of that, I think. It's a good bit of game design, that. Level design, even. Now I wish I was Garrett with a water arrow. Time to leg it. I think shutting the door in his face bought me some time there. Yeah, in there. That's where we'll end up. Well, I'm lost. But there's a diary page there.
4th of August, 1839. The nightmares woke me in the early morning, and for a moment I forgot where I was. Shortly after, there was a knock on my door. Alexander had heard my screams and asked me to join him in the parlor. As we drank our tea, Alexander began to tell me what he knew. It seems like the orb I found casts a long and dark shadow. It's not only a powerful item, but a dangerous one. Simply by touching it, you invoke the powers within, and if you are too weak to control it, it will devour you. The shadow is a sluggish thing, lagging behind the wielder, killing anyone or anything in its path to reclaim the orb. I said I didn't care about its powers, and that I should throw it away. Alexander advised against this, as I'd still be a part of the path to the orb, and eventually suffer death. Having the orb, I would at least have the chance to fight back when the time came. I asked Alexander what he meant when he said he could protect me, and he answered that things can be done, but at a price.
Remains to be seen if Alexander was telling the truth there, because obviously we read that earlier account by Agrippa of him finding an orb, and he managed to escape after the guardian of the orb took it back. So, I don't know. The plot will only continue to thicken from here, though, so... Do you know what? I was literally about to say that my pursuer seems to have given up. Bugger it. Unfortunately, the only... Oh.
Hey! Anybody! Help! Christ. I don't believe this. Why? I mean, why? What's going to deserve this? I mean, it can't be. Do I deserve this? It wasn't my fault. Why did he have to go in there? Don't go into burning houses. He should have known better.
Oh, you're playing RimWorld at the minute, yeah. I'm going to play some RimWorld at some point in the near future, actually, as I mentioned before the stream. I do have it installed again. I'll take another go at it. Because it's quite a fun streaming game, really. But this time, previously when I played it, it was a little bit... It got a little bit dull after a while because I was playing on, I suspect, a slightly too easy difficulty. When I play it again, I think I want to change up the storyteller settings and do something really silly with it. I'm sure our friend is still out here somewhere. Oh boy. Hello, dead person. I'm just going to take your lantern on if that's alright with you, and this as well. There you go. Bye. RimWorld's a great game. It's one of those. It's very. It's Dwarf Fortress light as far as I'm concerned. I do prefer Dwarf Fortress on the whole, but I'm kind of waiting for that Steam release to happen for Dwarf Fortress. So in the meantime, I figured I could play some RimWorld. Where on earth am I going right now? So lost. Need one of those signs. Is this the right way? This doesn't feel like the right way. Then again... Oh, no, I think it is the right way. The kitchen is this way, I think.
We're watching you, scum.
Better late than never. Yeah. Hello, Queen. Thanks for the resub. Welcome back to the kitchen, everyone. Game? Why are you gonna be like that? The kitchen was my safe space. Protect me, piggy. Please go away. There he is over there. Yeah, the whole don't look at the enemies mechanic in this game is kind of genius. I've said it already, but I'll say it again. It's bloody clever. Doubly so because, as someone pointed out as well earlier, the enemy designs are actually kind of goofy looking when seen in the cold light of day. But when you're actually playing the game, you rarely actually see them completely, and that's part of what makes it scary. You just sort of catch glimpses of them down dark hallways. Right. We have acid in our jar. Now then, which way was it to the...
No, don't kill her.
No, that's not. That's where we came from. That won't budge. We need to go this way. Hello, Dr. Fat. How much have you missed? Quite a lot, I'm afraid. I think once I clear this area, I'm probably going to call it for the night. Okay, this is where we need to be, I think. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I figured you'd probably jump out at me. Get. Now we've reached the cistern.
So you use the drain sewers as a means of transport?
Yes, they were built to divert water from an underground spring and are quite spacious. It seemed only natural to incorporate it into the overall structure.
But we won't be using it.
Not today. The flow is seasonal, and when the spring runs dry, the damp tunnels produce a rather poisonous type of fungi. There is an antidote, of course, but we won't be bothering with it today. Come, this way instead. We're almost there.
Officially halfway through the game. Yep. And with that, folks, I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave it for tonight. Looks like maybe we will finish this before the end of October, which means we can actually have a go at Penumbra. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, save and exit. We're just about to enter a lengthy puzzle segment as well with this as well. So yeah, most of the horror is over for a little while. Right. Amnesia the Dark Descent. It's an awesome game. There is a reason it became stupidly popular on YouTube and what have you when it was released. It's still got it. It's still good. And I'll probably stream some more of it next week. Next Monday, I think. As I said, this Wednesday, I don't know for sure what I'm doing, but it might be Blood Bowl, as I said. Because it's not only Spooktober, but Orktober. So I might be playing some Blood Bowl. Probably is the Orcs, because it's October. Yes. Yeah, the Bat Rep as well. Yeah, I did post a new battle report on my channel. It's a sequel to the previous one. Go check that out, please, if you wouldn't mind. Took a long time to edit, so as they always do, but you know. What else is there to say? Friday we'll be doing more Fallout New Vegas. Where we will be, I think I've decided I want to start doing New Vegas Bounties 2. I'm going to hold off on the DLC for now. I think I want to do New Vegas Bounties 2, and then I'm going to do Dead Money after that. So yeah, along with a couple of other bits and bobs as well. Some other vanilla game quests I've been meaning to do for ages. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah, Tales from the Burning Sands I want to take a look at as well. That's a quest mod as well. So yeah, more New Vegas on Friday if you're interested in that. But for now, folks, I'm just going to go quickly see if there's anyone we can go raid. No. Is the answer to that? No. There's nobody online at all. All right, well. Makes sense, actually, because Lil raided me earlier and Kilgore was in the chat. So, yeah, that's the two people I normally raid after I'm done. So, folks, that's it for tonight. I'll see you back again on Wednesday, same time, same place, etc., etc. And have a good week, everyone. Toodaloo.